And like you say yourself, you literally speak of what the drug war does. And I always respect the way that you phrase it of the harmed by the drug war because you're putting the responsibility onto the correct party. It's the police and the judges and them motherfuckers that have caused the problems. They've led to ever stronger drugs, to ever more increased violence, to more villainy, more gang interconnections and networks and county lines and all of these other things. They haven't arisen from drug culture. They've arisen as a consequence of them targeting and destroying the lives of people like yourself.
Yeah. Well, what I've seen when I was in the jail was the fentanyl, people spraying fentanyl on paper and
Mm,
people going under on it all the time. And it was cold blues all the time. So that was in the prison population. So it's the pregabalins as well.
mm.
Fentanyls, these are all like people are highly addicted to them and, using them for, you know, you've got a place in the drug war. What's
Mm.
happening now?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'd say these
People
people.
who the people who are just left in the system who are just living a existence in jail behind the door 23
Mm,
hours a day and just I don't know why it's there or what it's happened, but things need to change. It really
100%.
does. The drug war is lost.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was North Wales former police crime commissioner Arthur Jones got in trouble a few years ago because he suggested, hey, what would happen if we let prisoners vape cannabis as an experiment? And he got in loads of flack for it. But actually, if you actually understand cannabis, not from a bigoted, biased, like prohibitionist point of view, and you understand how it works, you can see the benefits that that could have in prison. As I think I said to you last time I saw you in the open prison up near Blackpool, was you guys have got so much land and space, and you're allowed to garden and have this space. It's like in my head, you all should be growing cannabis and consuming it as part of your rehabilitation, your therapy. You could even sell it in a little like prisoner window thing as part of the farm because there's a farm shop there. You could literally have then sold prisoner weed, and the people from the local area could come and buy their cannabis from people. Obviously, it's a bit fucked up in terms of the profiting of them people locked up. But what I mean is there'd be a mechanism of then not putting people into that position, and then ideally you'd have people that weren't locked up for cannabis cultivation, growing cannabis to be sold. It'd be people that weren't for drugs charges. Do you know what I mean?
It is a working jail, and all the lads, the 700 lads up there, and lots of them work in factories where they just repackage chicken what's been imported
Mm,
with different packaging on it. But lots of them work in the gardens, and I was working in the tomato shed. But it was big business up there. Like it was a commercial farm. You had cows and bulls and pigs. We used to go for a nature walk up there and go to the farm. So it was nice. I mean,
mm,
as jails go, they've been running that jail for 1936, I think. So like you sort of leave the lads alone, but the drug of choice in Kirkham is cannabis.
mm,
But there's no spice at all in Kirkham, which is an open jail. So, what does that tell you about the drug war? Which is, I mean,
mm,
there's 150 lads going outside the jail every day. So, whatever is wanted in the community is actually in there. But the real community, didn't want spice.
mm,
What was in the Cat C establishments. So, I never seen one incident of people going under, which that's like tells you that the community knows what it wants. But it did see lots of cannabis, but that like made the day better for lots of people, and lots of
mm,
people self-medicating with it. But there was a drug test done on our wing, and one of the lads who didn't smoke um, failed all the drug tests for opium and amphetamine, but he'd been prescribed these by the doctor in Kirkham, so it didn't matter. But he was on,
mm.
said to me, you're the one who was on more drugs than anybody. It
Yeah,
was
but it's
just like, there was a moment he went up to healthcare and said he's not taking them no more.
mm. It's as we tried obviously with yourself to try and get you a prescription while you were in there. It's
Yeah,
just something that's denied to them, and then the pills that then become treatment, often for conditions exacerbated and worsened by them being incarcerated, worsens their health. But them same drugs are also, as you say, valuable to other prisoners. Like if you're prescribed pregabalin, tramadol, I don't know if the prescribe, I don't think we prescribe benzos anymore, but any of those kind of class of drugs, they're more valuable often to a prisoner to trade with others
yeah,
than it is to continue their health. And yeah, that's what my point was about the cannabis of like just even as an experiment of just one space and a bunch of them. Because like you say, it was cannabis became the dominant drug because that's what people wanted. And the culture then reflected that. As you said, there was very little violence. There was very little sort of detrimental trouble that was caused as a consequence of like money being owed, of favors. People aren't going to tick up to the eyeballs with fucking weed in the same way that you might with a really strong opioid.
yeah,
And so yeah, it's emblematic that the harder the security prison, the worse the drugs are. The softer the prison, the softer the drugs are. Like you
yeah.
said, it's you can't put it any more black and white than that. The
What the
clearly,
community wants and what the community gets. I mean, it just sort of materializes, doesn't it? There'll always
mm,
be a black market,
mhm.
but the drug of choice was cannabis and Kirkham. But I was happy that I didn't see no cold blues with the fentanyl.
Yeah. Well, like you say, it's emblematic also of um the the environment in which you're in will drive the drug use. So if you're in horrible deprivation and you're locked up in a cell 23 hours a day and there's violence and aggression all night, things are smashing around, you feel unsafe, you feel insecure. If you've got a history of drug use, or even if you don't, you may likely want to have something that will help you escape that, that will numb you from it, that will put a barrier between you and all of the chaos around you. Whereas then when the environment calms down and you're less under threat, you're less likely to take those much stronger drugs. Again, another lesson that our politicians and prison system and any authoritative institution could do well to learn is that drug use, I would say, is completely natural to explore with drugs. Whereas then drug abuse often comes as a consequence twinned with the one's environment.